Hey guys, it's Brad from GeorgiaProbateResource.com. So who gets what when someone passes away without a will? This is called the Georgia laws of intestate succession is the proper legal term. All right, guys, so again, I'm Brad with GeorgiaProbateResource.com. We're a real estate solutions company in Metro Atlanta, but we buy houses all over the state of Georgia, and we specialize in the world of probate and inheritance properties. All right, so let's talk about this today. We're going to talk about the Georgia laws of intestate succession, or in simpler terms, who gets what when someone passes away without a will. Okay, so first of all, I'm not an attorney, so don't take what I say as legal advice. I'm merely just reading you the information that you can go look up on your own. I'm gonna put a link in the description here to the Code of Georgia, which is going to be number 53-2-1 is the code to read, and it discusses the degrees of intestate succession. So if someone does not have a will and they pass away, this is the outline that the courts would follow in terms of who gets what. Now, if someone passes away with a will, the will is going to say where all of the estate goes. Like you could will everything to your neighbor's cat for if you really wanted to. I don't know why anyone would do that, right? But the will is going to say how things are divided up. But in this case, we're going to talk about no will, which is considered intestate. Okay, so let's get to it. So I'm going to go into 5 degrees here. I'm not going to go past 5 because it gets really, really complicated. And I'm not going to go into like super detail in each degree, but I'm going to give you a few examples. Okay, all right, so let's get to it here. The first degree is going to be spouses and children. Okay, so if someone passes away and they have a surviving spouse and they have no children, then the surviving spouse would inherit the entire estate. Okay, next example. If someone passes away and they have a surviving spouse and they have children, then their estate would be divided up equally amongst the spouse and children. But the spouse cannot have less than 1/3 share. So for example here, let's say someone passes away and they had 8 children. Man, that sounds like a lot of kids to me. I feel like my 2 children is enough, but some people love to have children. So let's say they have 8 children, okay? So in that case, the spouse would actually get 1/3 of the estate, and the children would divide up the remaining 2/3 of the estate amongst themselves. Okay, and if any of those children have passed away, their heirs will split up that specific child's share. So maybe let me make a little simpler example here. Okay, so let's say there was a spouse and 2 children. Okay, so that would be 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Okay, so let's say one of the children passed away prior to the decedent passing away, and they had heirs. Let's say they had children. So their surviving spouse would get 1/3. The estate of their child that predeceased them would get 1/3, and then their other child that's still alive would get the other 1/3. And the heirs of their child who predeceased them, their heirs would split up that 1/3 of the estate. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that here in a second, but I'm going to get to the next degree here. The next degree is going to be parents. So degree number 2 is going to be parents. All right, so if someone passes away and they did not have a surviving spouse and they did not have any children, then the parents of the deceased would inherit the estate. So that's all for degree number 2. Let's jump into the 3rd degree, which is going to be siblings. Okay, so if someone passes away, they don't have a surviving spouse, they don't have any children, and their parents are not alive, then the siblings would inherit the estate of their sibling. So think about this for a second. So if you were to think in terms of the deceased parents, obviously their share of the estate would sort of go down to their children, right? So that's kind of why it goes in this order, right? Okay, so the siblings are going to be next. And if any of the deceased siblings are passed away, like I mentioned in the previous thing with the children, the siblings heirs would divide up that specific sibling's share of the estate. So if there were 3 children, let's say you passed away and you had a brother and a sister, and your brother had passed away, your brother's heirs would divide up your brother's percentage of that estate. Okay, so that's all for number 3. The 4th degree is going to be grandparents. So if someone passes away and they do not have a surviving spouse, they did not have any children, their parents have passed away, and they did not have any siblings, then it would go to the grandparents, okay? So the grandparents would inherit that. In most cases, obviously, tragic accidents can happen and illnesses and, like cancer or some, terminal illness, someone could pass away earlier on in their life. But in many cases, the grandparents are going to be passed away more than likely already. But that doesn't happen in all circumstances. Okay, so the next degree is going to be the 5th degree, which is going to be aunts and uncles. So again, we're going to go back down the line here, and I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I feel like I need to repeat myself. So someone passes away, they didn't have a surviving spouse, they didn't have any children, their parents are dead, they didn't have any siblings, and their grandparents are dead, then it goes to the aunts and uncles, and they would be in the 5th degree. So all I'm going to get into today is the 5 degrees here. I'm not going to go any further. Honestly, if you're getting any reasonable amount of depth to this, you should really be consulting a probate attorney in this case. And I would always advise you to consult a probate attorney if at all possible. Probate can be very complicated, and you really don't want to get in over your head on this, because if you screw some stuff up, you might mess something up. You're going to have to talk to the judge about it. The judge is not there to give you legal advice. You should really consult an attorney to do this for you. And if you're worried about the cost of an attorney, which is most people's concern, how much does this cost, right? I have some other videos. I'm going to link to that right above, which tells you, talks about costs of an attorney. How much does a probate attorney cost? If you are looking for a referral to a great probate attorney, we regularly work with and have worked with over the years a network of probate attorneys that we refer our clients to when we're dealing with someone who has inherited a property and they want to sell the property to us, but they need to probate it first. We've got a network of attorneys we can refer you to. So if you want to work with one of our attorneys, just let us know. We'd be happy to refer you to them. So I hope this helped you today. I hope this answered your question. Again, I'm Brad with GeorgiaProbateResource.com. Again, we're a real estate solutions company in Metro Atlanta. We buy houses all over the state of Georgia, and we specialize in the world of probate and inheritance properties. Also, if you want an easy, fast cash offer, you just inherited this property, you don't want to mess with it, you just want it done, gone, out of sight, out of mind, we'd be happy to buy it from you. We can make you an offer on the property. If you choose to accept our offer, we'll buy it from you. We can typically close within 2-3 weeks. Or if you want to go the traditional route, maybe you inherited a really nice property, you want to get top dollar out of it, maybe it doesn't need a lot of work, you're really more concerned about how much money you get out of this property, I'd be happy to talk to you about listing the property as well, because I'm actually a licensed agent myself, and some of my employees are licensed agents. I'm licensed with One Source in Woodstock, so I'd be happy to talk to you about listing the property if you do want to go that route. But most of the time, we end up buying the houses from the estate. So thanks again for checking out this video. I hope it helped you out. The purpose of all these videos is just to be helpful, because I know that the world of probate is a new frontier for most people, and they don't understand what's going on, and they just need a little bit of help. They need a little bit of guidance. So that's why we created this website, and that's why we do all these videos. So thanks again for your time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.